Ladies and gentlemen, you're not seeing much in this background because there's not much to show. We're here with the Kyanite Grand Finals. We're not going to be in game yet because guess what? We still have the interviews to look at. We're in here for a best out of 5 series, and I will be your solo caster for the day. I'm excited to be here. You should be too. And without further ado, let us take a look at what the CC man himself, Cryptical, has to say for today's match lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined here by the CC player himself, Cryptical. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. I know you're excited. I know I am, but how's your team feeling when it comes into this grand final?
CC, we've always been pretty confident, especially when it comes to finals, because we're big on mental. And to see our opponents, Election, not a very not a T1 team, I guess you can say. So our confidence right now is pretty high.
So have you been studying the Elections gameplay at all, or have you guys just been going in with the mentality of you're just gonna win it?
So I know that not expecting them to do good, it would be a mistake on our part. But to say that we're studying them would be a lie. I think that we've just been trying to perfect our own craft and not really worried about what they're gonna do. But if we play our game, I think we win. So in terms of practicing, it's us.
I think that's respectable. So both teams forfeited to get to the final here. So how do you guys feel about that? I thought that was a little interesting considering I was supposed to cast both of those games and they both forfeited to take you guys right to the grand finals. Do you feel like you would have been playing a different team if had both of those teams not forfeited?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And just so we're clear, the only reason we were forfeited against was because we played Santos in another final and we made them disband. So that's why they forfeited. As for the order, who knows what was going on with them, but hands down, it should have been us versus the order in this finals.
Okay. And honestly, I don't have too many questions. I know you guys have Nighthaven on the map pool, and those are one of the maps that really make me think, what are these guys thinking allowing CC to play on Nighthaven? Because you guys are just so special on that map. But I won't hold up any more of your time. Do you have any final remarks or anything to say to the other team or to the stream before this starts?
Yeah, I mean, Election doesn't deserve to be in this finals, and we're gonna make it clear when we play tonight.
You know what? It's a great final remark. Thank you, Crypto, for being here. Good luck to you and your team, and play well.
Thank you.
Kind words coming in here from the main man himself, Crypto. It's gonna be a great game we're seeing this roster from, but before we get into it, I'm gonna keep edging you guys even further. We're gonna take a look at what Election had to say about that. Let's take a look. Alright guys, after we've heard that first interview from CC, we're joined by the man himself, Squared, from Election. He has his camera on, a little bit of a different approach to this, but right now let's get straight into it. I know we're crunched for time, so have you been studying CC's gameplay?
Yeah, I've been going through their past few games for the past month or so, and I saw their finals against 5.2. There's a few maps that have been played in that they're gonna be played now, and I'm prepared. I'm getting my team prepared as well.
So speaking of maps, they have Nighthaven on the board, which is arguably probably their best map. You see them running around and gunning out on Nighthaven specifically, and I'm pretty sure I haven't seen them lose on Nighthaven yet. How do you feel about that?
That's free. I mean, I'm confident in that map. There's a few maps on there I'm really confident about. That might be their best map, but oh my god, so we're good on that too. We rarely lose that as well. I'm confident we're beating them on that map.
I like the confidence. So we've seen 2 forfeits coming in from both of the teams, and it was a little crazy to get you guys into the final. How are you feeling? Do you think it would have been a different outcome for yourselves? Because there's a lot of outcasts talking about how the Order would have probably been in the finals over you guys.
Well, yeah, the Order, they're obviously the best team on. They're probably the best team on console, right? For at least leagues. I see myself being maybe not in the finals if it weren't for them, but okay. I don't think we would have. I don't think we would have made finals if it weren't for them. But I would have told my team that we would have made it through. And what kind of a captain would I be telling my team we wouldn't win? So throughout the entire game, I would have been confident we would have won. Just looking back at it, right, or looking at it from the sideline, you're like, yeah, the Election, they're a newer team. They're probably not win that. But I don't know. Our team. If you start off as Squared and Co, that was rough. I don't know if you remember that team, but I made this team from the ground up. It wasn't looking for player posts and this guy's from this team. It was just a bunch of ranked friends that start off like that. Then Pam from Team Sin, he picked this up on his B team, and from there we got to election, and
Mhm.
I think this would be our first paid win, or paid league win.
I like the confidence coming in there that you're going to win. So far, as I'm looking at the votes come in, we're looking at a 57% in the favor of CC and a 43% coming in for you guys. And that's actually way closer than I would have expected it into. My personal vote, I'm not going to say anything until we're done the first map, maybe the second, and maybe I'll vote for myself. But right now, you guys have some of the voters on your side. And do you have any final remarks for those voters or the cast crowd as we're going through?
I'll just say shout out to Pam for getting us here. I don't think our team would be this good if it weren't for Pam. And after we're up 2-0 in the first 2 maps, you'll be voting for us.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you so much for showing up, Squared. We'll see you in the game, and thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course. See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, kind and some not so kind words coming in from both teams, but right now we have entered into Lair, the map that both teams usually would dread, but seeing how it was a pick and it survived a lot of the ban phases, we're going to be seeing some interesting gameplay here, and that's what I love to see on such a one-way map. You get to see so much different holds, especially on a map such as Lair. Talking about the maps for today, let's take a look at the map vetoes to see what's ahead of us today. It is a best out of 5 series, meaning we could be looking at a potential all 5 maps. CC is going to be picking Nighthaven as always, election on Lair, and then we're going to see Consulate and Clubhouse if we do get to Clubhouse and Skyscraper for the 4th and 5th maps. If one team decides to blow out on Lair, Nighthaven, and Consulate, this best out of 5 series will be nice and quick and only go to 3 maps. So we're going to be looking at a little bit of an interesting day, and I think we are going to be in for a beautiful series. Let's just wait out here for the next bans to come in and get into the action phase. Taking us right into the last ban, we see Tabaro and Capcan being our defender-sided bans, alongside with Dokkaebi and Blackbeard as our main bans. And apparently we already have a technical pause, not even a minute in. That's absolutely beautiful. Does this count as a timeout? Nobody really knows here, but gives us a little bit of the time to yap about the defender bans here. Tabaro is such a good ban to keep the hatches and the walls closed all over this map, and alongside with Capcan, those little pesky doorways you don't like to check, it's always amazing to see how so many people can get caught off guard and downed or finished by those traps. Taking a look at Dokkaebi and Blackbeard, one of them very, very good to finding the bodies of the defenders by just giving a swift phone call and finding their general location. Looking at the Blackbeard, the man himself with an AR behind a shield, he's absolutely broken as of recent. He can fly through walls, he has an AR behind a shield, and he can assume so much map control so fast. And I just think it's so common that we'll see him getting banned, him or the Blitz, throughout multiple rounds today. The first site of this grand final, we will be looking at the upstairs site, the Magic R6 room, and for some reason my HUD looks like a potato, so let us turn that up. There we go. A frost in front of the breach. We've been seeing that a little bit more recently, seeing the frost being placed on top of certain areas of the breaches to try to catch some of the attackers off guard. We've seen it actually happen a couple of times, being the first and second time yesterday of our last BO3 series, but now the staple operators are going to be brought, but Mira surviving the ban phase is a little miraculous because of how much map control she can assume just with throwing those one-ways down, and her surviving is going to be a wedge for election if CC chooses to bring her. Roaming smoke, you don't see too much of that recently, but every team has their own preference. Taking a look at the initial pushes, we see Ashe on the G3. We haven't really seen a lot of G3 play, but since she's gotten that recoil nerf on that gun, people are starting to prefer it over the R4C. Any day of the week, though, never think it's that serious. Warden teaming up with the Goyo and the Doc here to try to take care of the man trying to walk in through the R6 hallway. We might be in here for an early engagement, and we are indeed, as Vizsla finds one. Can he find the second here? As it's all going west and wrong for the election as they've lost 2 bodies. Make that 3, as now the last 2 will be left in the hands of Vizsla. 1 HP on his name, but they're running out for some reason, and now a man goes down through the bathroom wall, will get finished off by Stargazer, and we've missed all the action as it's been going on throughout the whole map. First Toxic Babe will be used, leaving this Grim in the bathroom stall all by himself. And it's an absolute run of amok for CC as they've seemingly taken the advantage from the men and just taken it and ran away with it. Needing to start isolating his ones as the attackers are all dead and the defenders are circling like sharks. It'll be Stargazer to end out that first round in the favor of CC. Beautiful round and very authoritative, doing exactly what they said they would in that interview. And right now, that's a round to reevaluate for election. There is timeouts on the board, so not to stress so far. They might have the ability to get something done. We go right back down and we look at Lab as our site. It's going to be a little bit of the interesting hole. One thing you like to see on Lab is just the various types of gameplay up here. It all depends on who wants to sit in what corner, who wants to lock down what rooms. We could see a castle integrated here. We could see a Mira. We could see a Vigil running upstairs and running amok to make sure these hatches stay closed. But it's all about what teams want to do what. And seeing how CC usually assumes the control of every player they go up against, it doesn't matter as long as they have that grasp on the site. We don't see a very heavy roam game from them, as last round we only saw the one man, the Smoke by himself downstairs in the machine room. But now we're seeing the same thing, as we'll see one man go for the hatches, and we'll see the Doc be a very main aggressor here, as he's going to be looking to find the Flores on a spawn peak. Taking his time here to check all those essential corners, and we might see an early fatality here as the Flores, Yeshua with the quick reactions, will lead to the first fatality of CC. Losing that Doc with the 3 stims is absolutely essential here to your defensive holds, and Fenrir will be the second man in a row, man. That's a very, very crucial first pick. Ying being brought on the board with her 2 can openers, very useful for the hatches and everything else surrounding the site. Right now, we'll be tasked with finding the roamers, getting the hatches open, and starting to look for the post-plan execute, as those candelas are very effective on a site that is so condensed, such as this one. Engagement here from Crypto, letting himself be known, but completely unaware that there's a man through the rotate. Intuition, he hears the drone and the player and manages to live another day, as all of the operators now will be looking for him, but he will seek asylum onto the 3rd floor, seeking the drones as well. Drone economy not looking too well for election, as they've lost 4, and you need them crucially for those last round executes, or the last minute executes, I should say. Crypto right back down to roaming, and now Quickie will be up here on the top of the site blue stairs to look for any punishment. Cannot find them, as Q will shut him down, only taking a sliver of HP off. 3v5 now, as election is looking a lot more reformed. When you let them build up their plays, they do much, much better. And now they have the time to reset, but you aren't going to be able to reset if the man himself, Crypto's right back on the Roman, waiting for you to make the mistakes of blocking into his crosshairs. But the Prey Fire and the link up between the Ace and the Ying will lead to his downfall as well, making it a 2v4. Ace finally starting to assume the control of filtration. The breach is nice and easy to open, as there's nothing there. No mutes and no utility to keep it closed, but the Frostmat might catch somebody off guard. Vizsla getting himself on the board to find the second fatality for election, and now they're starting to find those picks, and aggression is what is needed here to not allow that 3-way pinch. And the Candela gets rolled in, might be able to affect one man himself. And he'll just go to deny the plant, and that'll be Vizsla to find one. It'll be Yeshua to go down to Stargazer's bullets, and now the plant successfully been denied. And a beautiful recovery here from CC just means they need to relax. If the Ace hops into the breach, he'll eat a Frostmat. If he goes for a plant, it'll be nothing else, but it'll be a 1v1 and a 1v nothing, as it'll be Trell. The recovery from CC was good, but from election even better, as the crosshair place was just too good to oppose. And that's this first round for election on the board. What a round and what a shot by the ace to get himself for 2. Triple kill in his hands in the election. Almost threw that out the window, but managed to reel it back in by isolating the gunfights. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a 50-50 hold. Maybe we're seeing why the voter predictions went that way, but seeing another basement hold and having the hatches soft, not the best of identification here, as the Doc will find the first and needs to get that second real quick. It's near the main hall, allowing anybody coming in here from main to be able to find him nice and quick, but will successfully find it with a drone watching him from above. Again, the double roam from CC right now will allow them to have very extensive map control, but nothing too crazy, as now we might see a very early engagement. Crypto almost landing a bullet through the wall and finding the life of that gridlock. Rotating back up, they brought her just to deal some damage to whoever tries to flank up the stairs. Nomad wasn't doing the job. 3 air jabs for a number of doorways that not all of them could cover. It'll be Quickie and Abolish in the middle of all of the action here, as they'll be going in from shooting range, the attackers closing in, and it'll be Quickie just waiting in maintenance, waiting for somebody to walk into his crosshairs, but being pinched here from the Ying. We might see a fatality very close here, as he might get pinched. Fenrir here to lock him up, but he'll be the front line on defense. Quick shots, quick burst of the bullets will find the first fatality. That'll be Q gone. Can he find the double? No, he cannot, as World will shut him down. And that's a 4v4, a good trade, as you've taken out the Jackal, the man to find the other roamers on the map. And in turn, you've denied another man, but Crypto will find himself a kill, as there's no need for aggression, as they've gotten the man advantage and taken care of the floors as well. But Abolish takes that to heart and gets aggressive. He'll find one. Very close in the second here, but taking care of the gridlock. You have no more flank watch or any roamers to find. Now it'll just be an absolute frenzy for Abolish, as he'll find 1, 2, almost finding the second, but the crosshair goes off the head. But doesn't matter, because he'll relock on to the skull of the Ying, taking care, and that is the second round for CC on the board, looking much more reformed than the last. Two beautiful rounds coming in here from CC to gain the advantage once again. The election has a hold so far on how they're playing. They have to keep a certain hold on this, or it'll be an absolute frenzy on their rounds, and they'll just be losing so many rounds. As we know, CC is the team that loves to get aggressive very early on and get in your face very early into the round. So if they can replicate what they did to get that first round, maybe we won't see an absolute blowout in the first round. They'll assume control of upstairs yet once again. Now, they do bring that Frost, and she's one of those operators that you really can never go wrong with. Everybody loves a good Frost play. The Frost mats, you hop into them, you're dead. Even though she's gotten nerfed a couple of times, doesn't matter. She offers the shotgun, she offers the shield, and you also have to make the attacker second guess when hopping into areas. Hop down, look down, shoot something, and that is why Frost is so crucial. Squared going onto that shield up and might be an actually good pick, as it finds the first pick, and that's how you adapt to aggression. You match it by a brick wall that you can't shoot through, and that'll be the first pick in the favor of election. Crypto goes down, very essential utility considering there's nothing. I take it back, not crucial utility at all. He'll go down with a C4 in his hand. Ace looking a ways away to get this breach open, and it'll get out, because again, CC's not the team to bring utility to deny the wall. They'll just slap a frost mat and say, that's good enough. A little crazy here how we don't see the Mira being brought on the board, but It is what it is, and that's how the teams like to play for each other. Frost almost meeting her maker, and Will as she walks right over the overhang, and that'll be Trell on his double. An absolute fragger, and the man to watch here for Election, as he's clutched that first round to get themselves on the board, and right now he's given them the double advantage. But we've seen CC recover from this, so we cannot count them out just yet. Right now, they're all just droning. They're making sure their fundamentals are covered, as the Deimos will cover weapons maintenance, and the Monty will assume control of eventually the upstairs observation operational room. Getting into the face of Abolish and being all by himself as he's backed up by one. And the Doc needs to find a gunfight, but he can't, because that's a triple kill here for the IQ. And the Ganister will push them off, allowing the defenders to reset. But you're allowing the other controllers and the other attackers to rotate in and take control of the site from the back. Isolate your gunfights before you get Deimos tracked, because dealing with that through a majorly soft room is not the best. Grim walking in, meeting his maker as well. 6 feet under and no longer with us. As now Goyo on the flank, the man to find one, and the second as he'll fall to the frost mat. We talked about how agitating it is to deal with those, and right now he'll be down for the rest of the round and might fall here to a smoke canister grenade, as he will, and it'll be a 1v2 as Trell here needs to ace, or hopefully allow his Monty to get a kill. But the case is down close to the Monty in hand, and that Toxic Babe needs to get used as the denial operator, as the second time the plan will go down and will deny it correctly. Smoke is dealing so much damage here, and the absolute beautiful pick is there's 15 seconds left on the board, and he's doing an absolute amazing job of denying the plant. Knows he needs to get aggressive here, but he'll land the headshot, and now the Monty needs to get aggressive, and you just gotta run away, Stargazer, but you're 1 HP, and you're waiting, and what a clutch. This game is just action-packed, round after round, as it'll be Stargazer to land that shotgun right to the foot, giving CC their third round. Again, a beautiful recovery. It seems as if it's a prophecy that if it's a 3v5, they'll be there to recover from it, and that's CC for the 3-1 advantage. They assume the mid-floor site, but looking at their operator picks, we don't really see a bunch of util prioritized coming in here from CC. From this site, you expect to see operators going Castle, Azami, Mirror, the operators that you can take verticality and not have to worry about what's going on within the site. But an Oryx paired up here with a Legion, not essentially bad picks, but the shield up was only a one-time thing here for Election, and they're bringing prioritization of utility, but we'll see the verticality coming in here from CC, but maybe not as fortified down if they have it across the castle. Right now, I take it all back as they go for a very heavy verticality hold. No smoke in the hand, which I would have thought would have been absolutely beautiful for this site. And considering Gazer just clutched with him, would have been a great pick. But 7-1 next to the name. You never tell a legendary man how to play a legendary operator. Now, you'll see them try to take operational control. Will get themselves in the building, but Quickie will finally shut down the first. 4 more attackers to deal with, but the Glass won't have the opportunity to be able to use his thermal scope, as he'll meet God with that C4 from below. Vigil getting very aggressive here onto the breach, and that'll be Quickie to find his gunfight as well. Double kill next to him, and he is lost to only a 40% of his HP, and it'll be 100 to a quick if Doc can land the stim. Turning the attention around here to the Ram, might have a nice little sneak peek here, as we'll see him get the first on the body. That'll be Yeshua to open up the killing for Election. And now they've wasted way too much time here, where the attackers need to start finding the picks faster and faster, because you know how aggressive CC is. But the floor might be lava here, as a bunch of verticality holes may lead to the death of one of these operators. Bizla getting aggressive, and what a shot. The crosshair placement will lead to the demise of Yeshua, and Abolish taking care of Trell. There's no quad kills here, as he'll just fall, turning his attention all the way over deep into the offices. And it seems as if CC's taken the advantage and started running away with it. Election You have a timeout every single game. That's 5 total timeouts if they take it to 5 total maps. Call them now. Call them while you can. Get your mental on board as you're down 3 rounds now on defense. Your last round to get yourselves on the board to close down the differential now just to 2. Can you do that? Or are you going to start to struggle even more by not doing that? Objection rotation parameter will take us to the bottom floor again as it'll be unlocked. Crypto apparently treating this as his own personal training grounds, running around having a time of a blast. That's exactly what you would expect when you're up 3 rounds. Not much to do, and they'll get aggressive here, as an attacker might walk into this. We've seen them get very aggressive here without droning correctly, but the shield ops seem to be working for them. Not eventually didn't win them the round, but assumed a lot of map control and dealt with a lot of bodies. Squared the man himself to find a lot of live ping. The Twitch drone will be shot out. Again, second time, filtration is not going to be nothing but a distant objective, as now we'll see the Monty close down his gunfights and close down his space, only taking a little bit of damage. Warden having to deal with this Ying here very soon, but the Frost is here to be the support needed. And now, Barrels is going to be held down by the main man himself, Vizsla. Maybe potentially need to sub out Gazer because of the Flash is gonna roll in here. But very heavy on the attackers here as they really want to take control of this correctly and quickly. As right now, you've cleared the man himself, Frost, but have you cleared the man behind you? Gazer will make 1 pay, and now buried all here. If there's feed holes, he can receive a stim, but he's going to get pinched here by the Ying, and he's going to have to go up swinging. 1 HP next to the name, but when has that ever stopped him? Right now, on the other side of the map, Vizsla taking care of 1 and 2. Seems as if the duo here holding one side of the map just seems to decide the round as they've taken out 3 bodies. And that's absolutely crucial to take control. And now they have the case in the hands as well. Gazer just needs to wait, and waiting is exactly what he'll do. Vizsla taking the first death here for CC, but 1 minute 30 seconds wasted. The case has gone down. Your main operators that'll take site control have gone down as well. Can you rely on 2 operators to find 4 bodies? Stim all the way deep is going to allow him to activate his glasses at 100 HP in full confidence. As a little bit of a whiff here from Yesh almost leads to his demise, but Gazer can't react fast enough. Lifeline coming in here from Yeshua. He'll find 2 picks. 1 minute left on the clock. CC still in a very comfortable position here if they were just to be waiting passively. 3 Candelas left, meaning Shower is going to be very difficult to hold if these flashes do not connect. And they will not, as he'll walk right into his crosshairs. Main man himself, Yeshua, stuck in that 1v3 situation and might meet his maker soon. But the pre-fire, the 80 bullets, not much you can do here. And you'll still see CC getting very aggressive here, as that is their playstyle, the way their game is played, and how they want to play. They have 3 rounds advantage. What is there to do? Yeshua, not the greatest 4 HP right now, but getting the vert watched out for him. Proning nearly avoids death from above, but it'll be the man on your direct to take care of you. And that is the Ballers getting toxic, shooting the bodies to give himself the 8 and 2, the 4 KD to take us onto the switch. We go right back downstairs for the first pick of election, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of utility prioritized as we're instantly seeing the bandit brought in, and we're gonna see the same operators, but the dock has been something I like to speak about. When you look at the console comm and compare it to the PC comm, you see the dock being brought a lot, especially if he's at 900 ping here, but regardless, the Doctor is an absolute beautiful pick when it comes to HP, but he's not really there to offer you a bunch of utility. He's just there if you decide to make the mistake into taking an early gunfight. A lot of operators can be prioritized, being the Kais to keep those hatches closed or the mute, but We've been seeing teams make it work, so no judgment here until we see them played out. Ram already establishing verticality. We haven't seen this too much coming in here from Election. We've seen them bring the operators here for the initial, but they haven't been able to capitalize and be able to execute. You'll have verticality play here. Literally interesting. I've never really seen this before. And outside through a window, through vert. I've never really seen that before, but interesting feed holes lead to interesting measures. But the attackers have assumed a lot of control here and being able to find a bunch of engagements here. The Frost will be the man to take the damage first, and the attackers are all upstairs looking for a singular roamer that is no longer with them. Smoke, no longer so close, but it'll be Trey to find a kill through the feed holes on vert. No Finka, meaning Abolish will stay on this help for the rest of the round, narrowly avoiding the man just running by him through lab. The hatches fully haven't been open yet, only one, and you still haven't cleared the smoke who's upstairs just waiting for you. Doc taking a death and taking those 3 stims down to the grave with him. Ace seemingly about to walk into the crosshairs, but no capitalization in here from the Goyo. Thatcher's roll in, allowing CC to open up the filtration breach. And Bandit now in a situation where he has to hold them all at bay by himself while the attackers wait close. It's gunfights all over the map here, as you don't really know who to look for, but Quickie will know whose head to look for, as we'll narrowly get taken off a pixel. Yeshua finding the other breach, and it'll be a 1v2 here for Abolish and Election have finally gotten themselves on the board, and an absolute blow is no longer on our hands as they've managed to close out the differential, potentially to just 3. You can never count CC out, as we know how well they can do, but he's counted out for this round as the Capital will take a swift headshot. And now we'll see the 5-2 advantage as Election come out swinging on their first defensive round. And that is beautiful to make a statement. And we'll take us right back up to upstairs for their second defensive round. Beautiful game here from both teams. CC obviously being the main contenders to take this home. They've been just swinging and winning every gunfight. But now, what are we seeing here from Election? They're the team that'll bring the utilized heavy operators. The ones such as Mira and Azami. We were mentioning them both before for CC. But we didn't see them get executed. We didn't see them being brought and integrated into the roster. We're now seeing this from Election. They've been playing a lot more heavy util operators. A bit of an interesting loadout here. Goyo, we've seen him not be able to capitalize on his gunfights, and now he's going to be running an angled grip on the Vector with an extended barrel. A little bit odd, but Azami being crucial here has a Mira backed up with a Vulcan and an Electric Shock. It's going to be beautiful here to just keep operational lockdown for the defenders, and the main man himself is going to be locked down for the breach. But look at this swift play, as they'll be expecting it, but will Bandit be able to get it? No. Beautiful link up there by the attackers to get that breach open. I've never really seen that before. And it'll be the Bandit now sulking next to the chassis because he couldn't deny it properly. But now allowing the attackers to have that pressure coming in from the site, and they won't have verticality and they won't have any mirrors facing into the breach, allowing an easy plant if a C4 isn't tossed. All 5 attackers here aiming just for the breach or the main site here, and Azami has to go and cannot shoot it. You know you gotta shoot the core of the Selma breach and will lose the operational control, the grasp they had. It seems as if it's all starting to go south here for Election, as they're losing a lot more utility with a lot of time left in the round. It's not the best. The front desk has been successfully cleared. The Kiba barrier will be utterly useless unless somebody can sneak past it and sneak past that buck. Pressure coming in from below, directly, and through the windows as well. And Thermite will not be our case carrier. It'll be the ace here. No roamers as well, meaning it'll be even easier. Azami, essentially the main operator, waiting to stop the attackers to walk in, and she'll be sitting mezzanine, but it's gonna have to do with verticality control as well, and Legion watching her back as well allows them very good control here. Q has the angle as well to deny the breach head on. Is a smoke to be utilized. Right now, an execute seems to be in order. The first flash will rain in. Running into the breach, the comp will go out, and all they have to do here is play the time. Crypto will find one through the verticality. C4 will be tossed on the front doorstep of the A. That's a kill. The diffuser gets denied, and then it'll be the man in the main hallway taken out as well. The breach cannot be walked through, meaning they have to go directly head on into sight. Bandit will win his gunfight 3v3, and it's all evened out now as the Mira, again, has the grasp, but a shotgun from below as the buck has been fragged out and pushed out will allow the plant to successfully be denied. Crypto has something to say about that as he'll find one. But you know there's a man on the verticality, but he's left it. Why would you leave your post, Legion? As now quickly he'll find another pick. And the Legion sitting close. That shotgun packs an absolute punch. Crypto, you know where he is. He's running full speed away from you as he knows exactly what to do. And that'll be Election for their second round in a row. That's 5-3. They've closed the differential down now just to 2. What a round there from Election. And CC, the execute was spot on, but there was a better response coming in there from Election. The prioritization of getting in below and denying the plant, especially with a shotgun. And that's exactly how you expect to get yourselves back on the rounds. And we're seeing them stick to doing what they've wanted to say. And that is going through, getting things done and executing and denying certain executes. C4 from Mira and the prone peak from Mira, absolutely beautiful. As they'll take down the mid floor with the same exact roster at this time. Vigil for Legion. Sens now to be integrated into the roster, and I've been respecting a lot of teams who've been bringing Sens lately. The operator pick is not shabby in itself. Both guns not bad at all. 50 drum mag in the AR and an absolute powerhouse of a DMR that's been seemingly being the meta right now. Is that 417 just shreds through anybody. 2 shots to the chest and it'll be a down. And beautiful for the post plants as it packs a punch, and the utility from Sens as well, turning on and off lasers is just absolutely beautiful. A beautiful pick, and the Warden can't see through them now. That's a valuable pick to getting the plant down. Mira seemingly waiting to arch a C4 into operational, but we'll see the Thermite directly attack shooting range. Right now, Castle and the Ash are the closest to each other right here, and they have the opportunity to make magic happen. Who's gonna get the first pick? Who's gonna make what happen? Mira, I'm completely unaware as to where the Mira is. If she were to play crouch left, it would have gotten the Mirror in turn, but it doesn't. As unaware of what's going on. Nobody on the B-side door, meaning you need to clear this Mira and it'll be all over. And Yeshua opening up the killing sprees for Election, getting themselves on the board, and let the frenzy begin. Pings onto the Mira, meaning this is now a #1 priority coming in here for CC. They know there's no plant here without the Mira gone. She has no more C4, but on the other side of the map, they're losing bodies all over. And if somebody were to go for it, that means they'll go directly for a beautiful Goyo canister ping here as he's forced in the middle of the site. There's nothing you can do there, as it'll be a 1v4, and it seems like Election's gotten themselves right back into the game. Beautiful defensive holds. Maybe attacking wasn't their choice or their pot of gold, but it will be for defense as they're killing CC straight on utility. And that's the thing about a team that doesn't go for a run and gun playstyle. You cannot go for a plant. You cannot go for anything if they're killing you, taking care of your roamers, taking care of your vert ops, and taking care of the man trying to plant himself just with the utility. Beautiful round. We'll close it just down to singular round. One shy away around from the match point for CC. They've had that for 3 rounds now, but haven't been able to capitalize. Only 4 in Election's favor, and they have 2 rounds to take it to match point. Starting to get closer and closer here, and this is what you love to see, ladies and gentlemen. Not a blowout. You like to see that pressure coming in from both teams. Main differences we see is the Election holds. We see them utilize a lot of utility, but now the external breach of Warehouse won't be reinforced. A little confusing there, but they'll have the rest of Missile reinforced, but we don't see a bunch of utility here as the Ram will start to play Vert and find the first roamer. Squared will be shut down on the other side of the map. He has a shield too. Very crucial that he gave that up so early. Only dealing 75% of health to the Crypto Ram, but guess what? You've lost your life, and that's an even trade, I'd say, in my favor, allowing them to play verticality, free roamers. There's no more roamers, but Yeshua will walk up blue stairs and makes me eat my words, as now they'll be the second to deal with. No flank watch, no gridlock, no nomad, meaning you're gonna have to keep your head on a swivel, as you know you're gonna have to deal with multiple players, and seemingly Crypto doesn't know that there is a defender trailing behind him ever so slightly. He'll be taken out shortly, but after lagging as well, making it even worse. And now Yeshua's made himself known and goes right back to just roaming. No more C4s left for the defenders, and not the best of ideas, but the first breach going down, meaning it will be Bandit Trick successfully. And will play aggressive here. No scope in the head to mean a very easy death here if he wants to get into a close encounter. Waiting here as World gets aggressive and just goes in for the swing and lands it. This game's about high risk, high reward, and he exactly does that. Bandit sitting close to that second high risk, high reward. An absolute cinema here, as we've seen CC lose the lead completely, as it'll be even after this. But Stargazer, if he has something to say to it, almost making it a 1v1, taking care of 2 bodies in 10 seconds. No C4s left in 50 seconds. Magic can happen as he has 11 kills next to his name. Can he make it 13 to win the round for his team and send them to match point? But seeming as if the team has managed to lose all of their headsets. They had it in the board and they've managed to lose it. And now a 1v1, 30 seconds dock, 3 stims in the pocket. It'll all boil down to this. Are we going to match point or are we going to all even? And the headshot through the desk will make that match point. Or tied up now. My mistake is now we're seeing the comeback from hell. 4 straight rounds here for Election has showed us why they want to win this and why they've stuck to their interview words, as we're not seeing no room for mistakes. An almost bring back in turn of events for CC, but a big tide to turn, and an IQ can't do that all by herself, eventually leading to the downfall of them. And what a game. And now confirmed, no matter what happens, we are definitely going to match point after this round. What a game here by both teams. They've known what they want to do. CC initially with the run and gun playstyle, but it hasn't been seeming to work out for them on attack. Maybe on defense, but maybe it doesn't roll here, gentlemen. And how Election's just utilizing so much more utility. Maybe that's why. Squared hiding just to make sure he's not located by the drones. A perfect hold, actually, as he won't be denied as easily. Maybe by the Thatcher's EMPs, but it'll be too prioritized to get the breaches open. Only one man negative for CC, and he has 6 assists. Not too much to criticize here. Squared not having the best of games, as he has 10 deaths and 2 kills on the board. And Legion, the top fragger, the obvious man himself, Yeshua on 13. Stargazer for CC on 12. And it's just a battle of the fraggers here. Who wants it more is the question, and right now, you really can't answer that question because it looks so even here. Early engagement might lead to the downfall of the Legion, but he knows he needs to stay alive. The shotgun is just too powerful to lose this early into the round. And a very narrow and very early gunfight has been avoided, as Legion will be successfully back to site. Bandit tasked with getting this breach open yet again. We'll deny his side and we'll play aggressive right back on the other. C4, shot out the sky by the Thatcher. He'll capitalize out. He'll shoot Vizsla in the back. Wow, taking care of your thermite. An absolute essential pick for your team. But now losing your bandit, does it really matter if you've traded out the thermite and Ace only has 1 Selma left? Having now to choose with opening up a single breach, and the question is, which one will it be? An obvious answer, as there'll be feet holes on the side of operational, and Ace will take that and open up the operational breach. Cannot contest, as the Legion will swing right into the hands of Crypto, taking care of him. And it seems, CC, you've put yourself in a hole you can't dig yourself out of, as the clash has not gone down yet. And Squares is going to add that pressure you cannot deal with. 2 EMPs left here for the Thatcher to deny this operator, but what will you do when you're down a body and drones is all you can do? 5 drones shot. Drone economy, not the best, not the worst. Abolish now entering in from the bottom floor, and Stargazer all by himself entering in from operational and landing a world's hurt of damage to world. A little bit funny there on the wordplay, but it'll be 45 seconds remaining as the clock seconds are just gonna start running down. And Legion seemingly on the roam, waiting to receive this Ash. Now the gunfights are just going to be 2 complete separate ones on the different floors, as Legion will go hide now. And it's just all about keeping the attackers guessing on where you'll be next, and that's exactly what they're doing. In Legion, no virtual way you lose this gunfight, as that gun is just too powerful to deal with, and he makes me eat my words again. How do you lose that? You have a shotgun that deals so much damage, but 13 seconds left. 2 goo mines within Abolish. He's taking double the damage. Goo mines in. Everything's in, as Clash will be there to finish. Squared there for the double kill. 4 and 10 doesn't matter, as that is now the elite comeback from election. Underestimating is not even a close word to what they've done to this team, as they've assumed match point for Lair. Makes sense on why this is their map pick, as they're doing absolutely fantastic on it. What a game here for both teams, but really absolute cinema here for election, as they've won 6 straight rounds in a row, or 5 straight rounds in that manner. They've done absolutely beautiful on showing us why they want to be here, and I think this is exactly why they're in the grand finals. Operator lineups not too different for election, as that is exactly what you expect from them. The Azami, the Mira, and now the Castle. Wow, so much utility to overcome here for CC, and hopefully they'll be up for the job, as we've been seeing them now start to struggle to adapt to Election. What they thought was 1-2 rounds of fluke has turned into 5 rounds of straight mayhem. An absolute defender perfection here for Election. The dock here will be assigned with just roaming. And now, might claim the life here of the Flores if he decides to get aggressive. And that's exactly what the Flores will do. Narrowly avoiding death, as World is absolutely lethal with those pre-fires. We've seen him send Election to 5-5 on that basement lab. And right now, again, we're not seeing a lot of high kills here for Election. But the only reason they're here up round is because of their cohesiveness, their ability to play as a team is so much better than CC's ability to play as individual fraggers. And at the end of the day, R6 is a team-played game. So much time, so much crucial time wasted here for CC as they're losing minutes and minutes and minutes on the clock. Only 1:18 left on the clock, and they haven't even been able to fry the mirrors. And guess what? You've just lost your potential hard breacher, and your only hard breacher, as now I've been realizing they haven't brought the thermite. It'll be abolished to find the second frag. But that's your ash, that's your spear entry. You need to start finding the bodies and apparently start finding the Kiba barriers in sight and the mirrors to deny the plant. 3 stationary bodies in sight and a very close engagement here, as it'll be the Azami versus the Twitch, but it almost seems like an unwinnable scenario here, as this Kiba barrier looks very hard to deal with. As Azami will punish one, no flashes to deal with, as she'll just be here swinging. Won't be able to capitalize on the next. It'll be Crypto to deal with 2. Castle winning his gunfight, meaning the case will go down, and it seems like the game's over. Election, they've managed to bring it down. They were down so many rounds. A 5-1 lead seems to be in order, and congratulations as they've taken it 5-7. And what a comeback to assume control of the first map. That's layer gone, dusted, and in their favor as they've taken the first. Absolute cinema. They've confirmed the first one. And Yeshua, the man himself with 15 kills next to his name. Absolute beauty. There's nothing to talk about here except good job and congratulations to Election. And that will send us to a 5-minute break, and we'll be soonly back. 5 minutes. There will be ad-free viewing during the matches, meaning there will be 3 minutes of ads during the breaks. Make sure to reset the app if you don't want to be hit with those, but they do support me. So keep that in mind. Thank you, and we'll be back nice and soon. I told you guys we'd be back nice and quick. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are now just joining us, this is a best out of 5 series for CC versus Election in the Kyanite Grand Finals, and we've seen an absolute turn of events last game where Election just brings it back and finds it all. And they've done a beautiful job of doing it. Now, can they do it again is the question. That's 1 map down. 2 is Nighthaven Labs, the CC dreaded map itself, and the ban seeming to be the exact same as last game, but wow. CC loves this map. They were doing beautiful in the last, but completely chalked the lead, and losing that is absolutely crucial. Nice. Seeming as if my mic has just uppercutted the rest of my desk. That's fine, we'll take it right here to upstairs, the first hold, or basement actually, and Mirror remains banned, or remains unbanned, my apologies, and that's an absolutely crazy pick, as not a lot of players like to have her on the board. Mira, the man, the woman, in this case, can bring the one-weight mirrors. Not a lot of people want to deal with those, but as of now, the basement hold isn't the worst of ideas, as the Animus hold also seems to be coming into play, as Vigil will be reinforcing the garage. The other side of the attackers, they will be setting up the basement while we wait for the push. If it's one thing CC has learned, it's how do you play utility. And the question is, have they managed to address that now? First breach will get open nice and quick, but it'll be Trull himself to deny the breach. A little bit of misguidance for perfection here, and it won't matter as he'll get one side, but meaning the first breach will be open. Animus, hatch open, breach closed. Mira being tasked with finding the breaches, and now we're seeing 1 roamer, 2 roamers, 3 roamers, and that's going to be a hard take to disassemble, but knowing CC, they can win their one-on-one gunfights. If they don't get manufactured here, if they don't get molded into the Election's hands of where they want to go, then we're going to be in for an interesting gunfight. Ram evading death, but most likely doesn't know that. And Ash seeming to be just walking down Exo here, and nobody is the wiser. Nobody's on the Mira here for her, and the drones flying through will give the communication that the Exo room itself is free. And Ash burns the first Mira, but ultimately giving her pick and decision away for stealth. 2 bodies still in sight, and having to deal with the roamer is still going to be a pain to deal with. And the Vigil sneaking behind the full defensive roam is going to be a pain to deal with because there's no flank watch operators on the board. Seeming like an Exo plant is in order here, and the Ace will be the one trying to look for the easy kill. That's how far droning will get you, and that's why drone economy is important. 7 drones left, second mirror will be fried, and the plan will go down nice and easy. C4 denial, gotta get used to it, gotta use a little bit of body shooting here as it gets all toxic. Koyo fighting the first, Bandit fighting the second, and now it's all about, can you win your gunfights on the flank here, because this is where it'll all boil down. Can you clear the people playing on the diffuser? As no is the answer, is abolish or delete the first. And now 1 C4 to deny. Can Trey use it correctly? Waited on it for so long. Can you keep your pockets empty by tossing it? They apparently not here. He's waiting still. 10 seconds to make magic happen, and it seems even more difficult as it's a 3v1, and he stayed in the same position he was in before, deciding to start hit firing randomly when this is the round you need the most, as he'll go down, and the first will go in the favor of CC. We've seen the story once before. But around, and what an execution there from CC, showing us why this is their map. Whether attack or defense, they'll be here for the challenge and winning either one, but we'll be seeing basement once again. Right now, the main task, denying the plant and denying the XO push. Site looking a little underprepared here, as Mira will be the main one setting up to get those breaches reinforced and getting her black mirrors. Animus hold doesn't seem to be in the question, as the garage breach will remain unreinforced and the hatch soft. What are the defenders doing in this case? 4 now left in sight. No castle's been integrated for the vert hold, and Goya will be the hold of the roamer, and it'll be Yeshua, the man himself. Gets into a very easy gunfight, and Squared apparently has a stroke in the midst of that gunfight. Finding the first pick, 40 seconds. Election, we're speaking on how this was a map they were thinking of winning, but right now it doesn't seem like they're in control of what CC does, because it seems like they're just receiving the shock and not dealing any blows to their attack. Fridge breach successfully denied, and that means Ace will have no more Selmas to make it a viable option to just hop through. Ram working that vert, and now there is now one player to deal with that stops them from getting full control of XO, and hopefully Ash doesn't get that easy control of the mirror as she did last time. No pre-play C4s and no verticality is kind of crazy for a site that is so soft on the vert, and now it'll be abolished to look for his first initial gunfight of the game. Verticality open here again, and they managed to get it open again. Mira's breached, and potentially the Ace has opened up the breach as well, and they're just front running into the site. Crypto landing a shot onto Q, and now it's all falling down, and the harder they fall, the better for CC, as it's a flawless round, as the picks all over the map will fly in, giving them the second round in a row. First one was nice. The second one executed to perfection. That's a flawless and near flawless the round before. 2-0 in their hands. We've seen this before, but again, this is their map and exactly how they like to play. So let us see how it'll all unravel. Taking us to upstairs, seemingly have decided to give up on that basement floor, and with rightfulness, as they've gotten absolutely ran through the first 2, and now they will go for a utility maestro paired up with the Mira to try to deny the attackers, and a little bit of a confusing setup might lead to an interesting round, but as of now, not too much to worry about. I'm sorry. Did we just witness a TK? Not the way you want to approach a series where you're down 2-0 on the second map, but I guess TK, with all means, keep doing it. As World gets taken down to 20 HP and no dock in the favor will mean he will remain this HP for the rest of the round. CC here with all the hard breachers needed and not a single denial on the electrical breach or the IT breach, and the connector breach is going to remain in their favor. Ben is going to be waiting on IT. The connector will get opened with ease, but they still have the other obstacle of being the main electrical breach. Double goo mine, but that's a W trade as he's taking full control here. But Legion seeming to find his first kill. But again, Yeshua, how are you managing to lose the gunfights with the most powerful shotgun and still dying at close range? 2 goos in Gapitau's pocket and in his foot just meant nothing as he'll find a kill. The C4 doesn't matter as it'll find a kill, but a consolidation kill as he'll find you first. Mira will get burned, and now the Maestros are the only thing that will be relied on to deny. And apparently he's left in a 1v4, and CC again just taking the lead and running away with it. We've seen this before as it's just beautiful. A one tap is a shot towards the man sitting all the way deep in electrical, but a timeout is exactly the right call here as an absolute blowout of rounds is starting to roll in, as only the kills have been 4 in combination for Election. 3-0 is the scoreline as we move into the timeout. What a game here, and what a series for both teams. The game seems to be just in CC's favor. The series, Election just prioritizes their defensive utility rounds, but right now we're not really seeing that as they're starting to struggle in receiving how CC is playing. And now it's all about what can they do to be able to bring it back and get that grasp back on what they wanted. We'll see the mid-floor section as their hold, and that's exactly what you would expect. But again, what is up with the teams and not utilizing the operators that they need when they need it? Mira, Zombie with the mute, perfect picks. Legion, a little controversial, as we haven't been seeing him been used to his full potential. We're not seeing the castle. This is literally the only site that will maybe need a castle 99% of the time. The other ones you could just get by without needing him. But here you have too many windows, too many doors if you want to extend out to not be dealing with the castle. And we've seen them use it before, so a point to speak about, extend on, and think about as we'll move on to the action phase of this round. Seeming to be even worse here for Election as they've lost an operator, and the man Q himself will be disregarded for the rest of this round. Again, CC with that aggression is so needed. And Squared, what is up with this team and losing their close gunfights with the shotguns? It's depressing to watch from a team that just proved everybody wrong on the first map. Is just seeming to lose the plot of it as they've just not utilized. The shotguns just haven't been working in their favor as Abolish will just get a crosshair lined up shot. Works perfectly in his favor, and it's a 5v2 as the differential gets even higher now for Election. Timeout seemingly goes against them. And it'll be a near flawless round again, and Gazer showing us exactly why his team is passionate. A little toxic here, but it will be abolished to show us that flawless to make it 4-0. And it seems CC has just taken the lead and ran with it. Another tech pause while we wait for the man himself to come back, and we might be seeing a rehost in order. Absolute crucial rounds coming in here from both teams. CC needs this map to bring it back. And looking at this from Election, they've just lost the plot. They've managed to go in to one map with amazing utility, with amazing everything, and now we're not seeing the energy be reciprocated again as CC is giving them the energy back, and they're just in no place to receive it. Defense was Election's absolute stronghouse. And CC has dissected that stronghouse and used it against them on their best map. And now we're looking at the 4-0. 2 more rounds as we will go into the switch. But can they manage to take us to a near flawless and take us to 6-0 as they'll be on match point? But those are answers to keep your hat held on as we'll be looking at a rehost, and we'll be right back. Right back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that delay. I'll get out of your way now, and we'll go right back downstairs, as maybe this rehost has allowed them to get their mental right, but a little bit of an internet shock doesn't. 4-0, not the best to come back from, but we've seen worse, and we've seen better, as we've seen from Election before. There's the ups and there's the downs, and right now, hopefully, Election will show us their ups. Not looking too good for them in the last 4 rounds, but there's always a turning point. Q, the man himself, is the man committed to getting the breach closed, and they've finally gotten their heads out where the sun don't shine and taking control of Animus and doing exactly what they've needed to do. Didn't see the first 2 times run, but we've seen CC's execute on Exo is exactly what they need, but we've seen them still not play vert on the floors here, and that is a problem, as you need to start adapting to how the other team is playing. Already in the building here, they're going to be assuming a lot more control. Quickie, check your corners. Apparently not, as you'll get shot in the back. World on his first cafeteria control is now the control of one man himself, but it'll be Thatcher to drop the hatch, almost losing his gunfight, but winning it in the end. Verticality now in the favor of CC. They've controlled one roamer. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but Goyo on the 3rd floor maybe not be the best to deal with. Mira and Vigil on the 2nd as well, meaning site is all free. There's no verticality facing into the site. So if the team were to just recognize this and go straight for the site, it would be in their favor and it wouldn't really matter here. All they have to do is hold these 2 defenders at bay. Assuming map control really fast. Trey getting a kill, Stargazer refragging it right after. You gotta talk about how cohesive CC is looking. It's like they're stuck to each other. The fact that they're getting refrags for refrags, and that's a 3v3. 2 bodies dropped for each team. Make that 3 for Election as they'll get the next. It's a double kill on the hands of Gazer, and now it's CC. Looks like a very easy exo push. That's exactly what they've been looking for. But Mira has read this in advance and gotten a little bit of a head start by getting those head holes into facing. But what is in the terms when you're gonna have nobody committed to upstairs, and maybe we'll see a blunder here, either team, as Yeshua tasked with finding the objective head on and planting in a corner, but you're completely unaware as the man on your flank. He'll realize, but too late is exactly what it'll do. And now Election finally seeming to wake up and look for their kills, as Yeshua will take damage from the vert. Gunfight will be isolated as the man will back up. Gazer back in sight, having to deal with the Mira on the vert. You've looked at it again a little too late, and Mira losing the element of surprise, meaning the plant will have to be denied, but not fast enough, as now Squared needs to find a pick onto the planter, and Yeshua needs to find the denial. You'll find one onto Gazer. You've dropped the hatch too soon. You pay the dear price for that. Crypto, you're watching the wrong angle as he hears you in the other site. You gotta run and get the plant down. That's exactly what you'll do, as Yeshua, the man himself, left in a situation where he has to deny the plant, but it'll be CC to Prince right back on to that comeback, winning on bodies yet again, as the plant has almost successfully went down. Close to 3 rounds, and that'll be the 5-0 advantage. 1 more before we see the switch. What a round from both teams. Election seeming to be fighting back a little bit more than the last couple of rounds, but still struggling. Moving on, we go upstairs. Now, we haven't seen them win a single site, so there's no criticizing or talking about the benefits or the positives or the negatives of anything, because it's been straight negatives here for Election. The only thing that we've been seeing differently is they're fighting back now. But the fact is, they have like 8 kills combined over 6 rounds, so maybe this is like a comeback for them, but it's a lot to do, especially when you switch on to attack. You don't want to be losing your defense rounds And when you switch to on attack, it makes it even worse to come back from. But again, they've proved me wrong once. Hopefully they don't do it again. Breach will successfully be opened, and now the thermite again. The thermite, the duality of this team is absolutely insane. From going down so many rounds and just bringing it all back, the way they play together, they just bounce off right off each other and get the things done. But now one man hiding is another man's treasure apparently, but hiding in the corner is going to be amazing. Vizsla will get a kill to suffice for the squared going down. Quickie for squared, a very good pick here, as Quickie is the man to play for post plant. Vizsla on a double, apparently just ripping in from within, but again, the action here is all around Stargazer, as he knows apparently there's a man sitting close to the corner, his arm is popping out. He'll get finished, and now it'll be Trell left in a 1v4 again. A 6-0 in our hands, as Thatcher will be closing down. Can he avoid the flawless? No, he can't. That is 4 consistent flawlesses here for CC. Not all back-to-back, but 4 flawlesses, as right now, they've run amok, and they've just taken the lead and ran away with it. What a round, and what a couple of rounds. 6 whole rounds, to be precise. As now they'll switch on to defense, which I think is probably their best on CC's defense, and I don't think there'll even be a 5-minute break in between, because this map shortly is looking like a 20-minute match. What a round, and a couple of rounds coming in here from CC. You have to respect Election's attempts to try to bring that back, but right now, CC is just a powerhouse you don't want to stop. And that's not what you really expect to see from a team that goes a round or a map down. My apologies and excuse me, but CC went down the map. You don't really expect a team to come twice as hard on you when you've let them lose the momentum, but that's not the case here for CC, as they've managed to bring it back. And winning 6-0 is even worse than losing 6 rounds in a row. Breach will successfully get opened with nearly no opposition, because we know CC doesn't bring the utility needed to deny the breaches, but we do know they bring the gunfights needed to close out the round. What a shot by Crypto. Oh my god. Wow. Nothing to say but good night to Squared and Q. Nothing to say but your obituary will read fried off the breach with a holographic sight, and the case goes down as well in CC. And not the best of ideas. Mute will swing into the bullets of 1, almost falling down to the shotgun, will fall down to the shotgun. Ash left at the bottom of the stairs will find that kill that will respond for Election, but right now they're down 2 bodies, almost 3, as it will be, as you will be down but not out, but 1 HP as Trell again left in a 1vx. An insane concoction of Azamis all over the rafters will protect the Wamai, and Ace will try to walk in here. He'll win the gunfight, avoid getting absolutely swept on bodies, but a 3v1 with a minute 15, you still have a lot of work to do. No work to do, as you have consistently now just gotten 7-0'd by CC, and that's went from a comeback season and the absolute upset to CC taking your dreams and shoving them up where the sun don't shine, as that is map 2 confirmed, and that might have been the shortest map I've ever casted in my life. That's 2, and we'll move on straightly to the map itself, Consulate. I don't think a break is needed. They don't think a break is needed. What a game. Nothing to talk about here, but the absolute shithousery that we've just witnessed. And ladies and gentlemen, let us go to map 3. Community shortly looking now that they're starting to favor CC as they're starting to go in to the negative vote as they're starting to lose percentages. They had 47% next to their name for the voting predictions, but now it's went down. It's now looked like CC is taking it completely. It's now taking a look at the votes after we'll take a nice look after the third map. Taking a look at the polls now, we'll see let's let it load in here. Apparently nothing. Nice. Gotta love that. Give it a second here to load in. There you go. A 75% chance going in the favor of CC wrapping this up. Was the first round a fluke, or was it something that was just needed to happen? But as we wait for the ban phase and all of this sweet stuff to come in, we are going to run the ads because there was no break in between, and we'll be back shortly after. I perfected it time. You guys should be back by now as I managed to skip out on all the ads. And we'll move on to post-ban phase where a zombie will not be seeing the light of day. Nobody wants to play against a zombie on console, and we'll finally see her take the ban spot. As we'll see Mira survive this ban phase and taking a look at the picks, this will be the elections pick to play this map. We've seen them have a great time on the maps they've picked so far, but see how they'll play this out. Very heavy operators here to take care of certain areas of the map. Admin control seems to be in the favor of election very fast, as that Grim paired up with the Ash and the Gridlock will mean they'll take it fast. But let's see how they'll play it off. Early kill here for Yeshua, as I think that's the best time we've seen Election respond with the kill of themselves here. Is we've seen them struggle in the past. The question is, can they bring this back? Yeshua knows better than not to get aggressive with CC. Their gun skill is just something to never go up against. It's too broken, and that is exactly what they're trying to avoid here. Squared, they're all using their body's advantages, and maybe this is why Consulate's their map. Suicide Breach hasn't even been open here, or Meeting Breach hasn't been opened here, and it's still all gone in their favor. A 5v1 very nearly in the favor of them, but the two operators with the vectors will narrowly escape death. Stargazer now knows aggression is needed, or it will be a very tough time allowing them to just get in and go for the plant. Popping a Volcan will buy them some time, but right now you've allowed them to take control of the long desk as well, and not the best of situations. C4 still in their hands, and Quickie, 1 HP. Not much you can do against the man himself, Yashua. He's a fragger in its own. And right now, Stargazer, look to your right, buddy, as they're all closing down on you. You backed yourself up into meeting. Not much you can do, as the C4 will do absolutely nothing, taking the death to the Grim. First round in the favor of election. That's finally the election we want to see. They've gotten themselves on the board for the first time in 2 maps. And let's see if it'll all be the turning tide. Map 5 is a very big possibility here, as we're not going to see a 3-0 for any of the teams. Interesting games for both of them. Not a lot to comment on, except for the fact that an absolute blowout and a near overtime match went for the either side, which is a little confusing on my end. But we're going to be looking at either a 3-1 or potentially an absolute 3-2. It's going to be a little crazy. 5-map BO5. I've been seeming to be getting that luck recently. I've been doing 4 BO5s in the last 2 weeks. We'll see how it'll go out. No hard breacher, as they're not even going to go for the pot breach. And wow, they didn't do that, and they managed to get 5 picks in a matter of 2 minutes. Doc getting aggressive here. Abolished looking for a pick, but nobody there to capitalize off of, as they'll all spawn the police line. Abolish just looks left. Nice. They walk into his crosshairs, and that will confirm the first kill in the favor of CC. Now, admin control doesn't seem to be the big prioritization here, but they are looking to get it cleared, and Grim being on the board is going to make it a hell of a lot easier to find that. Yeshua, instead of being on the skylight this time, has went in straight for Spiral and has now assumed the first floor control. No roamers means a little harder to take control of the site, but we're going to see Quickie on the main lines of keeping admin closed, but leaving it eventually. We don't see the shield here in Dining, making the long haul easy to take if they can control admin. Losing a body with a minute 50 seconds is not the best in your favor, but we've seen them come back from worse, and we just got to see how they'll take their time to play it out. There you go. Yeshua will get himself on the board as he rotates through calves and goes up on the scaffolding to get a kill, and we'll go all the way back down and enter the building. Admin control finally in Election's favor, and now they just have to deal with vending machines to get some business dealt with. Thatcher grenades rolling out as Quickie will assume some close control, and now it's all about what's going to happen here, and apparently it'll be Quickie with that Vector to show us why he wants to win. The pre-fire almost connecting with the skull of the man himself, prone, and he wants that stim from the dock, but he cannot risk it. And having to oppose the yellow hold itself will be done successfully, as he'll just swing out, win the gunfight. And Quickie, no stim in his pocket, but the case is down. 48 seconds left on the clock, and you don't even need to swing here. Doc, stealth is key, and that's exactly what he's going to prioritize as the case is down. No drones on vending, and the attackers are put in a very bad situation where they have to start using their utilities to start finding the gunfights, but World hasn't used a single Grimby yet. Creeping in, World has the ability to use his EMPs, as he'll do that directly as Abolish will find one. He hasn't used a single stim left, boiling down to the last 10 seconds, and he almost finds the second as World will keep it held down. And like, this is a completely different dynamic of what we're seeing here. It's picked off eventually by Stargazer, case at hand, but it'll be to no avail, as we're seeing completely different dynamics. From a flawless round in the favor of Election to absolute spawn peak swings and gunfights lost for CC that'll win them the round. It's just one way or the other. We'll see CC come out victorious, and right now, they've taken the tie. This is going to be the only stalemate of this series, as it's 1-1 in the game and on the maps. Basement will be the site as well. Tabaro and Kayet are on the board, but seemingly not brought for some reason, meaning the hatch will get open. Castle brought, and no wall deny at all. Classic of CC, but they've managed to make it work, so let's see how to make it work specifically now. little late to the setup again, but right now, are we going to be seeing a run out again? As we've seen so much aggression here, and it always works in the favor of CC. They don't really die to spawn peaks, they only die when they allow Election to pool up onto them, and that's something we've seen in the Order game in the SWL a couple of months back, or a couple of days back, sorry. How we saw Election just pool up onto the players and allow themselves to use their utility. Yeshua assuming a good amount of control here, but they're completely unaware as there's a man sitting in catering corner, waiting for them to close down. The Roamer's looking for him, but Abolish with the gun skill and the intel he has of the players and how they play, it'll be a struggle to deal with them. Ram, you're gonna walk into his crosshairs, and that's your main verticality lost. Stim in the pockets, able to be used, as he'll do that exactly, and he's stuck in the same exact corner. Yeshua seeming to be closing down, and now the 1v1 to deal with either a 5v3 deficit or all even. Not allowing the attackers to close down. Abolish will win his gunfight. Q will win to take out Crypto, but Castle will manage to double the differential yet again. No Stims waiting for him, but Quickie on the roam is going to make everybody second guess. But Abolish, why swing him again? Why? As 3 of you have gone down, Jackal not looking too happy and not so hot, as the breach will be the only positive for the attackers. A down but not out. A man at 20 HP and verticality has been assumed. This round seems to be over if Doc can start distributing his Stims. All quiet here as he'll be seeming to just be baiting. Nothing to do to deal with these mirrors, nothing to do with deal with any utility, as he still has to deal with the verticality as well. And Doc seeming to get aggressive. Look behind you, Trell, and you'll do that finally, but you'll get picked off by Quickie, and that's a beautiful link up here to give the second round, or the third round in this favor, to CC. And that's their second round in total, taking overall control of the series by singular round. We'll go to Piano Exposition, as they'll have Piano and the Mira on the board, and they don't have too many problems here, as we've seen CC adapt to anything. They've won 2 sites here, upstairs and the down, and this is their last site before they unlock upstairs again. Not droning, tisk tisk, because you need these rounds, the very crucial rounds, to take you to the next level. But right now, not the biggest of priorities for these teams. Finally seen at Shield Op integrated. Haven't seen him since the first map where Squared played Monty. Absolute crucial operator that won them 2 rounds. And he'll finally be integrated again. The little brother of the man, Monty. Abolish seeming to get more aggressive on the Pottery Breach. And, again, all control is of the defenders as they manage to just make the defenders second guess on what they have to do. Verticality is never established until you clear the roamers. And finally, that's a first pick in the favor of Election, as they'll take care of Quickie. Looking for Abolish here, but Crypto will be the main man to deny them from admin, but needs to go back down. He'll be the main counter for the blitz, but needs a stim before any action will be in his favor. Yeshua, again, the front man to get into the building is going to be also going for the refrag as he drops yellow, but his teammate loses his life. Your flank watch is gone. Your verticality is going to be 10 times more risky as you now no longer have. Squared needs the link up here, as the Doc will be playing in a certain corner, but turning. Why would you turn the corner if you know exactly where he is? Losing your blitz, that's your map control completely gone. 4v3, as now it's Election down at the deficit again. Needing the stim here, any man to walk in through connector will be able to assume a kill, and Yeshua seemingly doesn't know this. Finally finds that Warden, will swing into the Doc and will manage to almost take out Yeshua. going down to 1 HP and deciding to teabag and shoot the body, as now they've managed to take 1 round and 1 body on their advantage. Adding them like notches to the belt. A minute left on the clock, and managed to make it a 1v3. Double drop was not in the ideas, as now they've lost the case, and it's a 1v1. How are you throwing when you're down a round? You need to capitalize in the early stages, and that's just not what we're seeing. We've seen Stargazer with the SMG-11 before, and we know it's always a happy ending with him. And all they have to do is hold out. Doesn't have toxic babes, as he's not on smoke like the previous time, but 35 seconds means holding out with a shotgun is all that is needed. Hatch control is established, but the case isn't. It's on the ground, and for grabs right here for the Twitch, but can you risk your life? The DMR packs a punch, but you know what doesn't? Your body, as it'll hit the floor nice and hard, as the hull they have is no longer there. They came out swinging with the first round and proceeded to get knocked out. Tyson Furious now, we're on the 3-1, and they've lost it. And a little bit of toxicity as we're seeing in the chats. 3-1 in CC's favor, and 2 more swift rounds before we go on to the switches. They've had that upstairs unlocked as previously mentioned. That's exactly what we're going to see. Roster, not too much to differ from there, as they'll bring in almost every operator we've seen previously. Upstairs will be the main hold. We've seen them win and lose the site, so it's a little 50-50 for both CC and Election. An absolute run for both teams. We saw 4v1 for Election when they lost, and a 1v5 as CC took their loss as well. So a little bit of a 50-50 push. Let's see how they'll play it out. It's all about who can play with their first foot forward. And apparently that question is met with an answer very fast, as Crypto will get the first pick for his team. And you've lost your Grim, the man with the utility himself. Blitz being assigned to Q, a different role, but needs to be prioritized or you're going to lose out on a lot. Yeshua evens it out, but gets refragged instantly, and Blitz dropping yellow will get absolutely shut out with no opportunity to do anything. And Stargazer on a roll. You don't want to stop him now, as he'll deal a lot of damage. Get the man down to 1 HP. Pokeballing him, almost taking him out. Getting so aggressive, but still, even if he's went down, his teammates will find himself a refrag, as it'll be a 3v1. And Trell is just still on the roof, lobbing in the Flores drones. But CC has managed to give his team the advantage. Goyo trying to get lucky with the pre-fires, but completely unaware, as the Warden sits close and waits for you. And that is CC to make it 4-1, and their last defensive round is shortly to come. We'll take basement as the last site for them. They've seemed to just run away with the lead on every single site, and that's just the CC you expect. We've seen 4-1 for CC when they weren't on attack, and let's see how it'll play it out, because I don't want to say anything too soon, as Election will switch on to their map defense, and let's see how they'll play it out. Right now, both teams have won their map picks, and let's see how they'll play it out later. They need this. They need this so badly. They need these rounds, and they need everything to send them to the next round. Again, with their first foot forward, 5-1, not the best idea to do that. No matter how good you are at making comebacks, lightning usually doesn't strike twice, and it'll be an absolute horrible time to deal with this amount of advantage for CC. The shield operator will be brought again, and an absolute chaos roster coming in here from Election as they have everything needed, but the boss G from Vigil will make it nice and easy if the Blitz takes a singular damage or a singular shot of damage. All Vigil has to do is wallbang. He had 2 shots lined up there, but nothing is there for him. Assuming full control of the server, Squared will win his gunfight, and that gives them the free reign to walk in through the servers. Still having to deal with the roamers, the Blitz will be fully roam clearing all the way upstairs by himself. Assuming he's not hearing the man behind him. What are you doing here? How do you even win the gunfight? Q, sit down and reevaluate your defensive and attacking skills. As Quickie was put at such a high disadvantage, he got the space closed out by him so far and so fast, and manages to even it out, taking care of the Chaos Agent, and will have a stim waiting for him. Quickie right back to what Quickie does. Gunfights, gunfights, gunfights as Stargazer will find one. Abolish will find the next. 4v2 as Grim is stuck in the corner. But it'll just be absolute mayhem as the chaos ensues. And that'll be a double kill here for the castle. And now CC has found their footing and they've taken their best rounds forward, taking the advantage 5-1. And now we're 1 round shy again from match point. Can Election turn it around, or are we going to see it end all here to give them that 2-0 advantage as they'll move on to map point? Election, first round in defense, will assume that floor that is offices and CEO. Pottery will not be guarded by a bandit, maybe a jammer if it's lucky, but as of now, the roster is not looking too different from CC's. Mira's not integrated, which is crazy coming from a team such as Election where they run in with so much utility to start off the rounds, but let's see how they'll play it out for the round. You can't judge because we've seen Election and what they do on defense. Right now, admin control seems to be like a bigger priority for Election here, as the triple breach will be fully reinforced, and you'll have a man square just playing close. Shotgun in hand, but you're completely unaware there's a man sitting right behind you. Upside down repel takes his HP off, and the initial gunfight will go in Quickie's way, and that's 1 for squared, but completely unaware there's a man behind him. Check your corners. It's Siege 101. It's a 4v2, as maybe the defense rounds from Election are not as well as we thought they would be, as they've lost everything. That's 3 bodies in a matter of a minute. Catering has been opened, and not a great position here for the defenders. Holographics and SMGs with shotguns are their primaries in sight, and the shield will be completely played off of Quickie. What are you looking at? Everybody's forgotten their headsets at home, as now the utility will be the main clear, as there's a minute 30 seconds left and both teams can just reset. But why reset when you have Stargazer with 15 kills, 2 deaths next to his name? Yeshua will win 1, but will get instantly refragged, because what's a team if you don't have CC playing your refrags almost instantly? And that'll be a timeout requested by the Election to send us to map point for CC. If they win this, they'll move on to the series point as well, taking us next on to Clubhouse the Beloved. What a great couple of rounds here coming in from CC as they're just adapting and taking it home. We've seen them do this in so many more grand finals. We've seen them do this against 5-2 in the Atlas League. We've seen them go for their gunfights. They've done everything right, lose 3 maps or 2 maps and bring it back instantly for a 3-2 comeback on a BO5. CC is just that team you could never count out, and they're showing us exactly why that is. As they've had their time to talk out what's going on and what's going wrong, they'll send us into our action phase. A Pulse integrated into the roster, and they've gone the craziest sight in the game. The split, first and basement floor. Wow, this is going to be an absolute interesting round to watch. No castle integrated, can't hold them off from certain doorsteps, and this is going to be a very crucial round. Are you guys going to get sent home? Potentially, yes, and it is all against you because you haven't brought the correct operators for this site as well. The Solus and Pulse team has been very, very well regarded, but not utilizing the castle over that is going to be very painful to deal with. Twitch drone to be located very quickly, allowing World not to throw them down and lose them nice and quickly, but Stargazer here, the absolute man of the match, might get man of the tournament here, as you'll be 15-2, bake that 15-3 as he makes me eat my words. The Caster's Curse comes back, but Abolish will be here to even it out. Mozzie will go down, C4 in hand, meaning no more denial if they will to plant on the A-site chassis. Bandit sitting close and has the ability to ruin it all, as we haven't seen them fully check the corners, but it's Abolish. What do you expect? As he has the cursor aligned, but nothing to deal and nothing to do, as it'll be, again, just refrag instantly. CC so passionate, but same with Election, as they'll be even bring their map advantage right back, but it's Quickie to literally find the refrag on every single kill we see, and Squared now tasked with denying. Yeshua alongside with him, as it's a Quickie and Vizsla link up. Something we always see, and something we don't take well regarded, as they've managed to do everything right here. The 2 operators will just be waiting above. The site looks like blinding lights, as you'll always have to look up when you're getting shot. And can the plant go down anywhere without being denied by one man himself? And it will just be Quickie here, tasked with finding the diffuser and get it down. The hatch will remain closed, but it'll be open as there is a shotgun on the board. Pulse getting a nice flank here. Triple kill next to his name. And Squared not looking to go down as easy. And it looks like a very narrow avoid to the map point as they're playing a game of keep away. No need to play aggressive. And Yeshua has the ability to swing here, as red pings will also go on to him. 1v2. Only thing going here is he has the AK-12. Other than that, difficult here for Vizsla to win this, as he has the attackers all dead and the defenders circling around with a C4, and both of them have the ability to just deny. One of them can see the heartbeat, the other one can see the diffuser when it goes down, and it doesn't matter, as he will use that UMP to win the gunfight and put the man under. And it is the second round for Election. A little bit of a response, not to bring them completely back, but a little bit of footing to be found. They take us on to upstairs CEO offices. They had a hard time holding us last time, to say the least, but can they bring it back? Mira integrated finally. It's almost like they heard me, and they'll bring this through. The Kaid bringing as well to deny the catering breach. And now it's looking like a much better setup, but guess what? You're all setting up the face into the admin push. But has it ever occurred to you that they're going for a completely opposite push? As we'll see the Lion, the Buck, the Amaru, and the Grim. An easy rush plant, as we've seen from CC. They're very good at executing. Amaru getting aggressive already. Mira needing to use the C4, and right now, there's nothing to do here but just wait as they're all circling down, but it's in, it's over, there's nothing you can do about that. Seeming like a run out is to come soon, but guess what? Ash is going to carve from within. Easy kills next to her name, but nothing's there. And now the attackers just need to stay still. Frags will bounce through, will go over the desk. It's no bueno for them. And again, no runouts apparently, as it's an absolute pain to deal with all of these players circling the block and waiting for you eventually. The Claymore will deal one. Yash will get a consolidation kill. Warden seemingly just waiting close as he'll almost find one, but guess what? It's not there. Vizsla finding the headshot with a shotgun, and he's gonna just try to go for the plant as he'll go down shortly. And that seems to be the map. Ladies and gentlemen, 7-2 as CC moves on to map point. They've managed to show us why they want to be here, what it's like to be here, and wow, there's nothing to say but GG's to CC, and we'll be right back after, we'll say a 3-minute break. We're not going to be delaying too long because I do want to get this on the Clubhouse nice and quick, but need to catch my breath. I have been your host, Sino, and we'll be right back with our closing and opening thoughts about the previous and the next map. Peace. as we're already back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be on map 4 out of 5 for this best of 5 series. It's been absolutely crazy. And it's just been a journey. We've been here. And right now, Clubhouse, the absolutely beautiful map. We've seen the best map for election. They've won it. And now we'll take on CC on Clubhouse next. As our last ban has been confirmed, we will be looking at Cade. Mira finally taking the ban. We've seen her in almost every single map for the last 4. And now we'll see her finally eviscerated. Now, Doc and Dokkaebi, or my apologies, Dokkaebi and Blackbeard have been very common bans. We've seen them literally every single time banned. That makes sense because you don't want to deal with a crazy man with an SMG-12, and the other one, nobody wants to deal with a fully automatic rifle behind a shield. We move on to the first site, and it's in the basement, and CC on defense is just like a cheat code. You never really want to deal with it. The utility that they sometimes bring is usually trapped. The wall deny is made up for the fact that they win every single gunfight they engage in, and they're going to be in for an interesting round. Moving on to the side of election, they will have a lot of utility centralized pushes, as they'll have the Jackal for the main roam clear, and you'll have the hatches opened up by the Hibana and the Ace opening up those breaches, such as the first floor blue single wall and CC if they are going to go upstairs, and Dirt. PDW in the hands of the Jackal. A little interesting here, a little interesting gun to bring considering the C7E doesn't move on console. It's all personal preference. Early engagement here from Crypto. We might be able to see a kill from here, but he gets absolutely ran through by Q. And now we'll see a breach charge be used on CC. And my apologies, thought it was a thermite charge for a second, but we're gonna watch Quickie walk up Secret here and try to get that early engagement, as well as a lot of control has been assumed by the attackers on Garage and Stock. And Nomad almost meeting her Maker 2 seconds away from getting headshotted. And now we've seen a double body drop here for CC as they've lost Crypto and Abolish. You never like to see your Doc dropping so early on into the round, meaning your health has all just been depleted. You're stuck at this health for the rest of the round. No roamers now as they're all back in the site, and the Fenmirrors will be the main line of defense paired up with the Gumines. Volcans, hopefully, are put in the areas where they can deny the plants, and no Kaid will mean those hatches will be opened up without any denial unless they can bring a Tabara. Bizla taking the first Jack track, and right now the hatches have gotten fully denied. Moto getting opened up with ease. 6 pellets left in the pocket of the Hibana. Quickie now tasked with denying the main drops and the Moto drops as he can see the long angle. And right now, he's going to have a amount of challenges that nobody wants to deal with, and it'll be even doubled up as now the differential has been grown to 3 bodies. And looking at the attackers, they're just taking so much control. They have main, they have Moto, they have everything. And now they're running it in and they're getting things done, as now the C4 is standing to deny the plant, but they're going to get the breach open as well. The Stargazer is actually going to commit to keeping it closed, and he'll do it successfully. 2 more Selmas and 2 more tries, but no more EMPs left for the attackers. Plant will go down regardless. They're just going to go for it as they'll have AK's control. Stargazer now knowing he needs to get aggressive here, as a wallbang could have denied the plant as easily, but a 2v4 means the attackers have very nice control, as it's a 1v3, and It looks like CC has finally lost their first round and gotten the impression implied on by the sub himself, Donut. A Caveira seeming to sneak its way onto the roster. I've never really seen Caveira be used as effective, but the only times I would like to say, the only times I do like to see Caveira is on Clubhouse. I've casted 4 times a Clubhouse match in the recent month, and I've seen Caveira all 4 of those times. Maybe it's the tech I'm just not aware of as the caster, but now we're going to be moving on to basement once again. It is the trademark of CC to go downstairs on some certain bomb sites and some certain maps, so not the worst of ideas for them. Maybe a unlucky round as they lost their 2 roamers very early on into the round. They get the chance to reset, and Caveira will be duoed up with the Vigil to roam. Vizsla taking a lot of damage already, using potentially probably the worst SMG in the game. Paired up here with the Goyo duo, and now they have to deny this attack very easily if they can just sit in the corners and wait it out. Almost a 5-man roam as the first kill go in the favor of Donut. He'll find Vizsla, no more Caveira to deal with for the rest of the round. Quick reaction here by Quickie will find the refrag shortly but surely, as he'll take care of the Jackal. A beautiful trade if you ask me, as we'll see 1 man in sight and everybody else will be the absolute roamers to deal, as we'll see Quickie deal with the second, and he'll be on a double for this round. He's taking care of the operators that get the hatches open and the ones that will find the operators, and Stargazer relaxing in sight because there's nothing to do but let your team just carve up from within. Crypto getting his kill off of the stock door as she tried to contest him from lounge. Baby steps and Nomad meeting her maker. Triple kill for Quickie, as it seems as if I switch from one to the other. It's a kill, and a kill, as a wide swing onto the chains will allow him to go down, and Squared will be left in a 1v3 situation. He hasn't even gone past the 3rd floor. 2 if you're savvy about the basement. Squared taking care of the second. You're not down but out. You have 50 HP, the ability to open up the hatches, and a minute left in the pocket. Not impossible to win, but the utility is just so overwhelming here from the defenders. You might not have the time you think you have. Volcan canister will remain unpopped here, and the Legion has to take the gunfight, but Squared has isolated it now down to a 1v1. And will he win it? No. Stargazer shutting him out instantly with the LMG. It packs a punch, especially when it lands to your chrome dome, as Squared gives some hope for election, but will be to no avail as he'll fall, giving the first round to CC, putting us at a stalemate of 1-1. Gym bedroom is the preferred site, as the 3 sites in order usually goes basement, gym bedroom, CC, and then bar stage. Not really the best of sites to go down here, as it's literally open to every single area of the map, but the thing about Clubhouse is the external areas. The highway windows just prove to be an absolute pain to deal with, and that's why you see a zombie and operators with the shields get integrated, because when you see the Azami, you can throw any keepers down on the pallets, on the beds, or within the site to deny the attackers to getting those easy angles from within the window, and that's what you like to see. W troll from the mods here. They didn't tell me I accidentally turned off the overlay, but straight into the action here. They're setting up here a little late. That's something we've seen from CC. They're not really the greatest with time management, but they are the greatest for gun skill and denying the breach, as the first time I've seen a wall deny come in from them, and they'll manage to deny. The breach will get open with no denial tasked onto it, and the Flores will be playing on the top of the highway windows to find the utility needed to execute. 3 artillery charges have already been used by him, meaning not a lot of utility is going to be fried by this last one. Having to deal with the mute jammers, not going to be the best. The con single is reinforced. The ace or the thermite is going to have another obstacle to overcome, because this is just going to add another barrier between the attackers and the site. Vizsla, the apparent psychopath, as apparently he swings off of the hatch and somehow wins the gunfight, and that'll be Yeshua to go down. The fragger of election has not been seen many times this game, as he's been shut down at every single turn he's tried to take, and now it'll all boil down to the 4 bodies from election. Can they manage to regain the lead for the first time in 2 maps, or are they going to keep continuing to struggle from the passion coming in from CC? And that question is quickly responded, as Trell will find one. Almost will find the second. But it's still all quiet now, as the engagement shortly falls. And Abolish will be the next one to get into engagement, as CC will be the next primary focus of the attackers. Thermite charge used on the top of a castle barricade. It doesn't get funnier than this. I've never seen that actually before in my life of casting. But 2 more castle barricades and a shield on the bed to still deal with. And that'll be the standings right now for the attackers. Abolish head chopped off his body as he'll fall to square. Castle will find the refrag almost instantly. Make that 2 for Vizsla. Crypto finds the 3rd. 5 seconds left. And the bodies have just dropped in 5 seconds, as everybody has just dropped like dominoes, one after one after one. It'll be CC to take down that next round and make it 3-1 or 2-1 in this advantage. My fault. 2-1 now, as they're on their series point with the advantage. Clubhouse defender rounds, I would like to say, is not something you want to lose, but forced here to go to cash and CC, as they've won their basement and their gym bedroom, and they're forced to go up here. Next round will unlock the basement for them, if they were to win this. Again, no wall deny. Castle will be seen for the lounge verticality, and that's exactly what you would expect to see from CC. They let the breaches get open, but maybe that's just because they love gunfights. While these guys are setting up, I want to thank everybody for helping us reach the Twitch follower goal. Wouldn't do anything without the support I've received on this channel, and I appreciate you all. Get into it, though. An easy trade here, as Capital gets ran out on from stock and gets traded out for Quickie. What do you expect from the main aggressor himself? But what is going on here? The gunfights just seem to be rapidly coming in, and there's just nothing, and there's not a dull moment in this series. Monty will be tasked with finding garage control, but right now they can't find control of the map itself, as every single gunfight, no Azami needed on the Raptors to lose 1, 2, and 3, as Vizsla will find the next kill, and the breach hasn't even gotten opened yet. Rush plant is no longer an option, as it's a 4v1 and you lost your Capital first. And there's nothing to do here for Donut except for bait until the last dying seconds of the round as he'll go over to the jacuzzi. Right now, it's all quiet as Crypto apparently has turned himself into an attacker, and Donut just running himself through the building, checking all the corners, but a ways away from the map, and will fall slowly to abolish as his positioning is just too good to deal with, giving CC now the 3-1 lead, and they have 2 more rounds to continue this terror as they're just running through election and cutting through them like butter. A reverse sweep in order. It started off with absolute passion and has now just been met with gun after gun to the head for election, and now they haven't been able to do anything. They've called 3 timeouts, but to no avail because they just cannot keep up with the aggression from CC. Basement is unlocked, as previously mentioned, and no Caviera brought this time, but the shield op will finally be executed, as they have been struggling to roam clear without it. We're 3 rounds shy away, ladies and gentlemen, from match point, series point. And right now, all CC has to do is exactly what they've been doing, and that's just running and gunning. Frostmat, criminally underrated as it's denied the breach and getting the plant down a lot more than you would think, actually. And now we see one main roamer alongside with Crypto sticking his face out of Jacuzzi. We might see a man fall to this if the Buck decides to fall back a little bit more than he would rather. As we see one man in the meat freezer and one man below, it doesn't even matter as it'll be square to fall again. And how ironic as your flank watch or your flank roamer to find is the one to die first. Demo's track, the death mark gets used onto Abolish and will connect before taking care of the first roamer. Now you have 2 other obstacles to deal with. The man still sticking his face out of dirt itself for some reason, and Quickie just ratting away, sitting in the meat freezer, which will potentially 100% be a problem to deal with. But we're seeing the Blitz run, but we'll see the Bandit seek asylum through the site and not fall. Stargazer from getting flashed by a Blitz to running down and winning his gunfight. That's another beautiful play here by CC. And Gazer decides to make it a P19 battle here as it's gunfights all over the map. Could have waited it out Quickie, but he was just itching to get in on the action and pays dearly for that price. And now it's a 3-all for both teams, with one shield op being their main. And he's been that operator that's been the first to the front lines and stopping them from getting absolutely ran through. Second death mark will be used to find the likes of Vizsla. And knowing Vizsla, he'll just go straight to the action. Dirt control is not there, and not a single attacker has tried to go for it, but Blitz has assumed control of Moto, and now it's all about who can win the next gunfight. Who is the next body to fall? The timer slowly but surely just falls down as Vizsla needs to win this gunfight here. He'll win that interaction. Trail will fall. Deimos left all by himself. And now it will be CC to win the next round. 4-1 as now 2 rounds shy from taking it home. One last round and one last dance, as again, we see a different fragger every single time. Gazer with double digits on Consulate, and now we'll see him 9-1. A 9 KD is absolutely crazy. And his KD must be the series MVP, as he's been absolutely carving up. Seemingly, my keyboard is about to have a stroke and it's not letting me pop off spectators. There we go. We'll see, apparently, gym and bedroom be held down again. But this time, we see CC having to deal with the bedroom holds. But they've brought Waldenite only for this site. And that's something that's absolutely hilarious to me, as they only have the rotate to red and there's no shield there. But the breach should get opened nice and easy. Crypto getting shot down to 1, but will have a dock if he can seek asylum properly, but has to rotate to garage. That's exactly what he'll do. Dropping the construction hatch, there will be a stim waiting for him, but he'll catch the likes of another player. But how does he win that gunfight? 1 HP, and Yeshua can't land a bullet to save his life, and that'll be the death of him, and that's a well-deserved stim for him. Crypto back up to 100, and it's absolutely crazy as Stargazer just runs at them full speed, swings 1, swings 2, and that's a double in his hands. And now, again, a 5v2. CC and the absolute benefit that they have on this team, the grasp they have is crazy. Q finally getting the consolidation kill. Mute going down from the pre-fire. Barely missing the man running out from him. And that Stargazer on the triple kill to put it on to 5-1 as they'll do the switch onto attack. Struggling here so hardly. Election has seemed to lose the plot, and the timeout isn't being called. And you can only assume they think it's too late to be saved now, as every single time they're trying to respond with something, they get met with the barricade of CC's weapons to their chrome. And now we're seeing that as only 1 man or 2 men on Election are even. Not a single one is positive. First round for Election, you'll have the main aggressor himself, Yeshua, the fragger of his team, needing to find something, and by something I mean a body, as maybe being AFK here plays in the favor. As Quickie takes a break from playing the game just to talk smack in the Discord chat. Absolute troll here, but with ease. Shield op will be brought for Election again, just maybe not the blitz, but we've seen them prioritize these shield ops a lot, and it's been helping them so far for denying time, but we haven't seen it be properly used, and Square used it on layer. And right now, the preliminary drones to find any of the roamers are starting to soar through, and will eventually find this Vigil, but can the Vigil find the head of the roamers and the attackers walking in through stock before this happens? Squared will go down. Nobody will know why, how, or where. But we will see the next engagement here being onto the Vigil, and somehow Trell loses that again, and Donut Hater finally gets a kill here. But 13-1 in the Stargazer's name. You cannot keep losing the bodies here. And Abolish will find Donut, allowing them to flood site. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only a minute and 20 seconds in, as they're just starting to fry from within. It's just CC to win their gunfight. It's a 3v1, because guess what? You'll find one body. I'll do better. Almost getting that consolidation kill. Yeshua will find it to stop the bleeding. And now, very, very easy to win this. But a lot of obstacles to overcome. You're faced against a man who's 13-1 himself, but you have 3 Kibas and an impact to make that difference. Abolish will be the man faced with the first gunfight, using the Kibas correctly. Now, we'll try to find Abolish, but Abolish will have something else to say to that, and that'll just be R4C bullets to the head, and that'll be CC, match point, series point, 6-1. Timeout has been called, and now Election has something to talk about. And by something, I mean everything. Nothing has been going in their favor. They won the first round off of a C4, off of a bunch of utility prioritization, but now they're struggling to meet anything. Has this break been used a little too late in the series, as we've seen CCU win 7-0 on Lab, 7-2 on Consulate, and we saw those timeouts coming in a lot earlier than this one, and now it's 6-1. Is it going to be a problem? Ladies and gentlemen, the first and last potential site will be, will be Gym and Bedroom. I can't believe we're already here. Approaching 3 hours. It's been a great time being here. I know I've had a great time, but Election has to pull off a world-class comeback to take us to map 5. Can they do it, or is it all over here? Quickie looking to do some parkour here, as there's nothing better to do when you're winning 6-1 and you're 1 round away from taking the series home. They've held Gym Bedroom down pretty beautifully the first time around, but allowing themselves to get wedged in here by the attackers. They found the gaps, capitalized on it. And Election's just not a team we've seen come back from that. They lose a body or two and they just cannot come back from that. CC is the complete opposite, and that's okay, because Election's a priority utility first type of team. But it's all about who'll find the first pick here, and that's what we've been seeing every single time. Looking to get the shock wires nice and shot out in the first couple of seconds in the round, and that will be done nice and successfully. Yes, we're getting shot down to 1 HP from Rafters off a wallbang, and right now it's very annoying here as they've been forced back into Cash. Castle, the main man himself, can play very aggressive here to stop the attackers in their tracks when it comes to defense. But right now, a little bit of focus with his aim, and it's going to be no avail as Crypto will find his first kill, and they know now Castle's somewhere near them. Can they find it? As Ash will answer my question. Squared gets the consolidation kill, stops the bleeding, but it's a 3v3 as Q will find the response kill. Watching that flank, Gazer gets fragged. 3v3, and now Crypto is tasked with finding the refrag, but we've seen him do it so often, we might see him do it again. Bandit maybe just making the mistake of trying to walk down and gets fragged out instantly by Crypto. You never want to walk into the man's crosshairs, and by doing so, you've put your team at a disadvantage on the point itself. Running through construction, Goyo past point of return where he cannot deny, and now Ash left to find the mute and it'll be over using the C4, but Goyo getting that kill and denying the case completely, waiting for somebody to cross. He'll be hit, making it a triple kill. Q has managed to bring it down to a 1v1, but allowed the Zofia to rotate over and take construction. Has 100 HP, 2 stuns, and the ability to just isolate. A 1v1, this is an ideal situation for both teams. Plenty of time to show us the prime peak gameplay of why you want to be here. CC will be denied the glory of the map to themselves. The pre-fire will somehow not connect with the Goyo's face, and a quad kill coming in here from Q will single-handedly block CC from claiming their prize money, and that'll take us to the next match point. We'll be seeing 4 more of these if they make a great comeback, or we'll be seeing no more of these if they win it down here on Church, which we've seen them do. What a couple of rounds coming in here from the election. They've managed to grasp it, but right now, CC's ran with it. There's no way you can say anything about finding your footing here unless you found 2 or 3 rounds in a row like we've seen on Labs or later. They've got 7-0'd before, got 7-2'd. Not the best of situations to be in, but anything can happen. Not a team you can count out always, but again, you'll still have to struggle when it comes to climbing that 4-round ladder. It's a deep hole you dug yourself in. You called the timeout way too late, and you're paying the price now. Early kill here for Yeshua might be something that he'll be able to call the safety kill. But right now, the Ram knows exactly where he is, and he's trapped him into Kitchen, but letting up on the pressure? Why? Stun gets used out, but Doc's pushed himself right back downstairs and narrowly escaping death. Very easy kill here for the Ram, but not using anything to prioritize him. Quickie taking heavy damage from below, but an absolute whiff from Yeshua will lead to his demise. Got another chance, but will be denied that chance very fast due to the whiff. Quickie, 1 HP now, but still has the ability to use 1 more of his Rams, and he's in a beautiful position as they've taken the verticality. And I was gonna say the map control with the man up, but Squared has something else to say with that very powerful shotgun playing here on the main stairs. Flashes will come in, the Brava clutches will come in, and now Squared has so much to deal with, taking damage from the vert and just pushed off. Nothing you can do in that situation. That's just CC's coordinations to come in here. Q finds a consolidation kill as he's lounged, but needs to force to come down through blue. On the DMR, Donut only needs to land 2 shots to a chest here. On the Ram, in this case, just 1 singular bullet, but hiding is the right idea here as you need to reset for the plant. You taking damage, and they know exactly where you are now, but the Ram is 1 HP, and you still cannot deny him. How, as the C4 will be tossed on the front door of Quickie, but a whiff from Donut will confirm the end of the series. 7-2 in the favor of CC, calls this good night, and wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a series. What a game, what a series, and just what a day in general. And that has called it the end of a best out of 5 for Kyanite, and that sadly brings us to the near end. I have a surprise for you guys. We are going to be doing a interview, but it'll take us 2 minutes to get set up on that. We will have your post interview in 2 minutes, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. it is not. All right, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, but stay tuned for a second as we are just going to get Crypto's voice in here because an absolute beauty game requires an absolute beauty of a voice to accompany us today. Can't hear you yet. Give me a second, boss. If I could find the Discord interviews here. We'll be back. Technical difficulties for the third time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Crypto, you want to hit us with a check?
Yep, check.
There you go.
Check 1, 2.
All right, boss, the first question's first. How are you feeling about this win?
I feel good. Faced a little adversity at the start. Lost layer 7-5, but we knew that wasn't our map. So, we just chalked it. We didn't let it affect our mental state, but, faced adversity and came through it.
And seeing how you're the team captain, were you allowing your teammates to essentially just shit talk as much as they wanted just to get into the heads of the other players? Because I'm seeing a little bit of that go down on my monitor here. And essentially, it is a good way to get into people's heads. But were you allowing that, or is that just something they all took into their own hands?
It's not like they asked me for it, but I mean, if they want to do it and get it off their chest, that's on them. I'm sure it heightens their confidence, just to just to talk a little shit,
Yeah, I understand. Talking about your confidence, how are you finally feeling that you've taken this series home?
Man, I mean, it was. I wasn't stressing over it too hard. It's a big win in a big league, so I'm happy. Obviously, happy for the payout. Happy for my team. I feel great. Feel great about it.
Well, you got anything else you want to leave off for us? Any final remarks?
Nah, I mean, we're the best team in comp. That's all I gotta say.
Gotta love the confidence here. You don't think you're better. You think you're better than the order is what I gotta say.
Yeah, I do.
You gotta love the confidence here. Thank you so much for joining us here at Crypto. And for all of you guys for joining the stream. We're approaching the 3-hour mark. I love every single one of you guys. We've reached the follower goal. We've done everything needed. The maps are as above here. If you missed them all, it'll be posted on YouTube as soon as possible. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.